Randolph Town Councilor Jesse Gordon here on Oak Street to show the new Randolph Reservoir Walk sign. I'll show some details about it, then we'll take a tour just so you see where we are. Here's Oak Street. That was facing towards town. This is facing towards North Street. And the reservoir is just over there. We'll see some details. Just so you see the new sign. This is the parking that I showed last week up on Pond Street. This is an entrance I'm planning for next year. You can actually go there now, it just doesn't have a sign. It's at the end of Norway Ave. It's very lovely. Here's where we are. You can see the little sign for the exercise area. There's another entrance, and there's actually several more on Messina Drive. And there's parking on the other side of the reservoir. I'll bike past the fin fur feather area here too, and point out the implications for Braintree. I'll also go through Braintree here to show why Braintree should participate in the Reservoir Walk, and we'll talk about that during the bike ride. First, here's the exercise area. This is just off Oak Street, but most people don't know it's here because there's no parking. I'll work on that for next year. But basically, this exercise area is open to the public, and more importantly, you can go in the back to the Reservoir Walk itself, which we'll bike on. There's always been plenty of negative signs like this, warning this, don't do that, but it's rare that there are positive signs saying welcome and please come here. You can. It is legal. I'm not doing anything illegal here, and you can do the same with your kids for a picnic, for a bike ride, whatever you like. This gate is not to keep you out, it's to keep out cars. This is the maintenance road for the DPW to come into the reservoir area. So that's to keep out cars. It's perfectly legal to do this by foot or by bike. Now we're on the Reservoir Walk proper. This is a very nice walk. It's difficult for the DPW to maintain it because you have to hike into the woods to do some cleanup. So we'll see some trash coming up later. I am asking the DPW to do that on a regular basis. You know, once or twice a year would be plenty, I think. I want to add that to their budget to do that. Or make a park and recreation division separate from the highway division, so that there would be a separate budget for doing maintenance like this and for doing the roads. I'm going to walk across this little waterway just so you see where we are. That's the reservoir right over there. You know, a little open water here. There's a couple like that, but not too much. It's a frosty morning. You can see it's a little bit iced over there. December 1st, 2023. But mostly, you will not get your feet wet doing any of the Reservoir Walk, at least at this time of year. In the spring, it's a little bit muddier, but still very enjoyable. Just plan on cleaning your shoes afterwards. Here's one of the trash sites that I am familiar with. Oh, you know, it's a little, maybe a kid's party area. I don't mind the kids partying as long as they clean up. And that was pretty clean anyway. Now we're going to come across the dam shortly. You can see it off in the distance there. The dam separates the two halves of the reservoir, which are controlled by a water mechanism that either opens or closes the gate so the water can flow between them. That's to control the level in the reservoir part that's nearest to the water treatment plants, so that they can control how much water goes in to the water treatment plant. There's a nice little picnic area here. right on the reservoir. And you can see we're running parallel to the shore all along here. Sometimes we're closer, sometimes we're farther, but basically we're going parallel. You can kind of see the reservoir always just off in the distance there, over that ridge towards the sunrise. I'm gonna have to walk over this little hill here. Oh, and you can see the reservoir nicely right over it. That's the dam off in the distance too that we're getting to. So, that trash barrel, I guess, is theoretically maintained by DPW, probably more likely maintained by a neighbor. Here you can see that's the Braintree side over there, which we will end up there. Over here is towards, oh, I'm not sure, we must be near Marconi now. Or maybe this is the exits Norway, and you can see the dam over there. Well, it doesn't look so good on camera. I can see the dam over there. We'll get there in a minute. Oh, I recognize the Marconi exit here. So this is the back of Marconi Drive. It's fenced off where the neighbor's property is. In other words, that fence indicates somebody's backyard. I respect staying out of there, of course. If you look over there in the distance, you can see another car barrier. It's yellow. As I recall, there's a second car barrier just to its left. In other words, don't bring your car there. It kind of feels like you can, but you shouldn't. It's fine for walking. It's fine for biking. The neighbors really don't want you to park either there or bring your cars in, and I respect that. That's one of the reasons that these places are hidden, is because of the parking issue. As the neighbors never want people to park, so don't. And then the neighbors, in theory, will welcome pedestrians and bicyclists to enjoy the reservoir. Okay, so here's another car barrier here, just to keep cars, in case they get in. So we're right on the reservoir. So now we're a little north of Marconi, and you can see the dam pretty clearly over there. That's our destination. This really is quite beautiful here. If you've never taken a hike out here, you can certainly hike from Marconi. You can see it's very close. And it's really a nice hidden gem of Randolph and Braintree, as we'll see in a minute when I get to the Braintree border. This is something that Braintree residents could enjoy also, and that's what this video is for, is to encourage doing exactly that. The neighbors all know that this is a great place to walk your dog. I see my friends out walking their dogs along this whole trail on a regular basis. That's of course welcome on the Randolph side. On the Braintree side, we'll see there's some signs saying you can't, but that's what I want to change. This one, I inquired especially about what's going on here. This is actually a town right-of-way, I guess you call it, right on the reservoir. The neighbor maintains this little walkway. It kind of looks like the neighbor's lawn goes right down to the water. It doesn't. I mean, he wants to make his lawn right by the water, which is lovely. But it actually is town property here, so you don't have to feel bad about going on his property. I actually feel good about it because he's a great guy for doing this. You know, for making a little clearing and for making that bridge right behind me over there. And he does have, you know, warning signs up there. I guess that's the neighbor saying don't go in there, so don't. Stick to the right by the reservoir, and everyone's happy with it. You can see we're going fairly close to other neighbors' properties. That's okay. They're all aware that this is the town property here. Some put up fences like this, some don't. But I think really the bottom line is that they have a lovely park right off their backyard, and you can enjoy the park while respecting their backyards. Now you can see some trash along here. It would be nice if the DPW came in and cleaned this up. That's on my list to do. The DPW is quite good about clearing trash when requested. In last week's video, I pointed out some trash right at the Pond Street entrance, and I reported it on C-Click-Fix on the Randolph-MA.gov homepage. And actually they cleaned it up within a couple days. I'm going to walk it here. It's a little bit muddy. You know, coming in here is a bigger task because we're pretty far off the road. It'll be even longer to come by foot, of course. So here you can see the reservoir on one side and someone's property on the other side. This strip is all town property, and so it's more like a, I guess you can call it a linear park, except it's a big circle around the whole reservoir. And that's really what I'm getting at with Braintree, is yes, it's a circle. It's pretty much a figure 6 right now, if you can see it on the map. For all the parts that are in Randolph, I'd like to make it a figure 8, including the part this over there by the water treatment plant on the Braintree side. That issue is that the mayor has always opposed that. That's Mayor Kokoros, who lost the election on November 7th to the mayor-elect Erin Joyce, who, as soon as I heard that news, I immediately knocked on her door to give her my plan, which I presented to Sustainable Braintree a couple years ago, to open up the Braintree side of the reservoir to be part of the Reservoir Walk. That would make it a figure 8 instead of a figure 6. Now I'm approaching the dam, and I'll tell all about the Braintree situation. So there's a lot of negative signage on the Braintree side that says explicitly no trespassing, and things like beware attack dogs. There's some geese out there. I don't think they're attack geese. You can see pictures of the attack dog sign on my website, jessegordon.com. They took one down because I shamed them into it. I hear rumors that there's more in the woods. I've never actually found them. And I spoke to a couple people who said, well, they were never very unfriendly attack dogs. They were just dogs who would bark at you. Nevertheless, when my son was 10 years old, I took him there and he said, Dad, that says warning attack dogs. I said, I don't think it's really attack dogs. He said, yeah, but you make me go to school to learn how to read, and I'm reading that, and I'm not going in there. So it works. This is the exit to Norway Road. You can see there's a little, I guess you call it a bay there. I'm going to continue up to the dam. In other words, if you live at Sunshine Housing or Francis Crossing, you could easily walk to the Norway Road exit. That's my signed proposal for next year, which I'll propose to the CPC in a few months. That's a very easy walk from your home, anywhere near Oak Street and the crossing with North Main Street. into this beautiful Reservoir Walk. It's actually quite a long road to Norway. You know, it's a couple-minute bike ride, maybe a 10-minute walk from where you get off the dead end of Norway. Okay, so there's the dam proper. I'm going to continue my story with Braintree. You can see I'm not hiding any signs here. There used to be signs all along here that said no trespassing. It's actually the same signs as on the Braintree side, those goofy redback signs that say you'll be arrested on site, S-I-T-E. We'll see those on the Braintree side eventually. I don't think they're near here, but this is the entrance to the dam, and I have not crossed any no trespassing signs. That's because from the Randolph side, you're welcomed to come here. You're not welcomed on the Braintree side. Just to give you a little bit of orientation, you can see both water treatment plants here. Let me get out to the dam and you can see them a little bit easier on camera. That is the Randolph Holbrook water treatment plant. You can see the rusty tower there. That's the old Braintree plant and the new Braintree plant. I see that DPW has recently, because I was here a couple weeks ago, moved some big stones here to make it look more imposing. I will ask them to move these stones. This is another welcome area onto the dam. I'm gonna have to schlep my bike around on this little tiny walkway here. Oh, no, I'm gonna carry it over. But this is legal. These stones should not be here, but they are. So this is a symbol of the 1950s mentality. People think you should keep people out of reservoir areas because in the 1950s, I guess most people didn't understand that water bodies are some of the best recreation areas, the best places to go with your dog for a walk or for a picnic. So they blocked them all off, thinking that would make them cleaner. It doesn't. We have filtering plants in those buildings over there to filter out things like dog poop. For that matter, things like goose poop. Here's a bunch of geese taking off. They're, of course, not barred. And of course, they poop. We have filtering devices for that. You really don't have to worry about the cleanliness of your water if it's in nature like this. I mean, don't go dumping your trash here, but having normal activities like biking and hiking and picnicking and bird watching is really okay from an environmental perspective. I call myself an environmentalist, and I would say anything you do here by foot, not by car, not by motorbike, but by bicycle, is okay environmentally. It's sustainable, it's green, it's good exercise, it's good to get out in nature, and that water treatment plant cleans up anything that gets into the water. Okay, so this is the dam. You can actually see that the water level is a little higher on this side than on this side. That's controlled. Somewhere along this stretch I'm passing into Braintree, so maybe it was Braintree that put up those rocks because they want to keep us out. It's always been the tradition in Braintree to keep the Randolph people out. You know, they'll say, well, we don't want the riffraff coming into the Braintree water treatment plant. I'm the riffraff. I do want to go into the water treatment plant. I would like to make it that the water treatment plant is open to the public so that we can see it as an educational experience, and to see this dam as an educational experience so that our high schoolers from both Randolph and Braintree can go in and see how their clean water is made. I got a tour because I'm a town councilor. I demanded it, but they made a special exception to give me a tour, whereas they wouldn't do that for normal people. I'd like them to do it for everyone. When I lived in Cambridge a couple decades ago, that was one of the major items when they reconstructed their water treatment plant, which is right on the Belmont border, that they made it that there was an appropriate place for high schoolers to come in and tour. And of course people can too, regular citizens who are adults Every year the high schoolers from Belmont High and the Cambridge high schools go and have a little tour and learn about how their water is made. You know, maybe it inspires a couple kids to get into the field of water quality or biology or infrastructure maintenance. You can see the water treatment plant over there pretty good, including the Russell Tower. I guess I'm in Braintree now. I haven't seen a sign still. They're over there by the water treatment plant and elsewhere. But this is the part that Braintree wants to keep you out of. I'm going to show the dam and then call it a day. To contrast that 1950s thinking that keeps people out, I want to institute 2020s thinking that welcomes people in. In other words, everything I've done on this video, I want to encourage the people of Randolph and Braintree to enjoy this immensely beautiful recreational area. Can you hear the water lapping up on the rocks there at sunrise? It's very beautiful, it's very nearby, and we should all come and enjoy it, and we should all feel welcome here, not like we're trespassing. In other words, a sign should be like on the Randolph side, 2020s style. It says welcome, not like on the Braintree side in 1950s style that says no trespassing and warnings. That's my goal with the 2024 Braintree Town Council and Braintree Mayor. You'll see the first sign in Braintree coming up. I'll show the dam and that sign, and then leave it Sustainable Braintree and the Braintree Town Council to take action. So here's the dam. I'm not sure how it works because I've never had a tour here, but there's a little culvert here, a little mechanism here that holds the water back or lets it in. This is some sort of gate that lets the water in. That's how a dam works. I'd sure like to get a tour. You can too. Now I guess we're in Braintree, and here's the first sign that says keep out. Even though it's your land and my land, it says danger, construction area, keep out. Well, okay, maybe that's a construction area for the water treatment plant. I don't know what they're calling over here. I have other videos of that area. I'm going to stop here and just say that all of this land is owned by the Tri-Town Water Commission. That means it's jointly owned or jointly controlled by Randolph, Holbrook, and Braintree. Those are the tri-towns. And you, as a resident of any of those three towns, can demand that they make this a welcoming area rather than a danger warning area. Thank you.